And we're live! Okay, thanks for coming out, folks. Here's our live stream for today. It's entitled Revolt okay. In the Blue States. Thanks for coming out, folks. Here's our live stream for today. It's entitled my YouTube channel. I left it active, of course, because I always do that. Okay, muted my YouTube channel. Okay, so today's live stream is entitled Revolt in the Blue States. And we're watching Trump hit states like Michigan and Minnesota, and the media's out there watching that going, Why? Why is this guy wasting his time campaigning in states he's not going to win? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So Trump has limited resources, He's going, I understand battleground states like Florida and Pennsylvania, states he's won last time, but the polls tell us that the Democrats have managed to flip those states. And so he's got to fight for states that he won previously, like Florida and Pennsylvania and Ohio and all these states. He's got to fight tooth and claw to get those states back. And so I've been watching the election coverage for the last week, and I've noticed that a lot of people on the right, a lot of people that are we call conservative media, are really pushing a lot of fear porn this last week. I call it fear porn. They're doing lots of talking about how the Democrats are going to steal the election through vote fraud. Okay, and I want to address that. So that's what the stream is about. So first of all, I want to show you something. I want to show you a clip from a person that I saw on Twitter today. Let's go to the clip.
And we are winning, but we cannot be complacent. So that's my challenge to everybody. Make your list and make sure your family members, friends, everybody you know is ready to vote. Hello everyone, I just wanted to challenge everybody to make a list of 5 people that you're going to call or text to make sure they're ready to vote for President Donald J. Trump on November 3rd. If each one of us does that, and if only 10% of those people get to the polls, we could shift a lot of votes, because right now we're dealing with a lot of censorship. The fake media is not covering the Biden story, which is epic corruption. They're covering that up. There is a lot of censorship on social media. We're not able to get the message out. My Instagram account is basically not reaching anybody. So right now we need to put the foot on the accelerator, because these are the final days. We have to save our nation, and we are winning, but we cannot be complacent. So that's my challenge to everybody. Make your list and make sure your family members, friends, everybody you know is ready to vote. Hello everyone, I just wanted to challenge everybody to make a list of 5 people that you're going to call or text to make sure they're ready to vote for President Donald J. Trump on November 3rd. If each one of us does that, and if only 10% of those people get to the polls, we could shift a lot of votes, because...
Okay, I wasn't paying attention, so it started to repeat itself. Okay, that's a good message. But did you notice that woman was black? Yeah, okay. The number of black Trump supporters, and you don't even have to look that hard. They're all over social media. I mean, you go back and try to find this back in 2016. How many people did you see making videos back in 2015 and 2016 before the election, talking about how much they are encouraging everybody to get out and vote for Donald Trump? I don't seem to recall that many. Well, there's a reason for that, because did you know Trump only won 8% of the black vote in 2016? That's not a whole lot, I think he did better than George Bush and some others. He got like 6%, but Trump managed only 8% of the black vote in 2016. Well, they just had some polls come out in the last week, and all the polls have him pulling in now between 18 And I think Rasmussen reports had an astounding 33% of black support for Trump. And these are voters. Okay, so let me take you to a second clip that this one was making the rounds a lot yesterday. It went viral. This guy is something else.
Barry, who you voting for?
Donald J. Don Trump, the Don.
Why?
Because he's the best president since sliced bread.
That is funny.
The man do what he say he's gonna do. I never seen it yet in my life. Everything the man say he's gonna do, he do it. Then his sister, his family trying to put him down. She don't even know what a great man this man she have in her own damn family. He's sick. This girl, you could see she get paid to talk garbage. The man is a genius.
What about
the man could fix numbers and it's all the bottom line is account receivable and accounts payable. The books, man.
What about Biden?
Biden, that criminal, 47 years, he didn't do nothing for the black man. More than make a crime bill and he brag about it, and then he come and try not even apologizing. He's a crazy kid. He done done for America 47 years. Now we find out it's all been still for China. 47 years in the place, and he want to do everything now that the man come and say he's going to do it. Plus, everything he says doing that what the president is doing. He's blaming the president for the virus. How can you blame the president? Nobody knew at the time. And the man moved so fast that he got up therapeutic and different drugs for treatment. No, if you get tested in time, your life can be saved. Nobody knew. And they come, virus, corona. Like the president brought it here. I can't believe these sick people. That's why they try to debate on. The communists never will work. Right. And I'm watching the American people because I could tell you one thing. I'm going to stand back and watch because they ain't going to take away the people's Second Amendment. I don't got any, so I'm not worried. But I know it's America. You can't touch that. And that's what all they want to do, take away the amendment.
So you're telling people to vote for Trump, right?
They have to. If they do not vote for Trump, it's finished, brother. God is in the midst. He's sealed and covered by the blood. They can't touch him. God sent him the right time. Believe me, I'm here 47 years, and this is the best. The best. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread.
Okay. How many videos like that did you see back in 2016? Go ahead. Tell me in the comments. I'm looking at the comments. You can remember, this is for posterity, so please be honest. How many times did you see black people making videos like that back in 2015 and 2016? Okay. So just one thing that I want to point out with this live stream, okay, even before the CCP virus got here and the Democrats started taking blatant political advantage of that with these lockdowns, okay, the Democratic Party had gone insane, man. They had a year before the virus got here, you had at the Democratic debates, you had Democrats talking about how massively they were going to raise taxes, they were going to ban fracking, they were going to get rid of oil and gas, they were going to hell yes, we're gonna take your AR-15. They were gonna raise taxes so we can all pay for the free health care for illegals. They were gonna take down the wall. Oh, did you catch this today? The Department of Homeland Security Director Chad Wolf was tweeting out a video showing 400 miles of new wall. They completed the 400th mile of that wall. Okay, and the Democrats, what are they campaigning on? Taking the wall down, opening the borders back up, letting the caravans back in. Okay, they had already gone insane long before the CCP virus got here. And that was already causing many people that were former Democratic voters to walk away, to leave the Democratic Party. Okay, and that's even before this virus got here. And now for the last 11 months, people have in these blue states have been living under people that have revealed themselves to be actual tyrants, actual authoritarian, draconian. I guess they view themselves as being masters. You know, they can lock people in their homes and keep them there indefinitely. Okay. Now this next video that I want to play for you, in case you haven't seen it yet, I want to make sure everybody sees this. This is a video by Brandon Straka.
America, it's time to walk away. My name is Brandon Strock. My entire life, I voted for progressive policies. I gave money to liberal politicians. I marched for their causes, and I despised the people they told me I needed to hate. But then, I started thinking for myself. I took a look at what the left really stands for and the future they want for America, and I did not like what I saw. The modern Democratic Party is a vicious, anti-diversity, anti-tolerant, anti-freedom, anti-police extremist indoctrination camp that wants to turn America into a socialist country. So I walked away. And if you're a freedom-loving American, you should walk away too. Hey guys, are we all voting on November 3rd?
Yes, but progressives only. My queer studies professor said that conservatives are homophobes.
Guys, not true. Conservatives have evolved on this issue. President Trump's administration is leading an initiative to decriminalize homosexuality across the globe. And did you know that Republicans appointed the very first openly gay cabinet member in American history? Why didn't progressives do that?
These are the same Republicans that are trying to take our rights away.
We've had Republican leadership for 4 years. What rights have we lost? It's time for LGBT people like us to stop listening to the media, start doing our own research, and thinking for ourselves.
Say her name. Say her name.
Hey, buddy, are you ready to walk away from the left?
Walk away? What you mean? Conservatives hate black people.
Now, conservative politicians restored funding to historically black universities, created more than 9,000 opportunity zones in disadvantaged neighborhoods, and passed criminal justice reform like the First Step Act, which freed more than 3,000 Americans from prison, 91% of whom were black. Now, why didn't progressives do that?
Nah, man, conservatives are racist.
That's a narrative the left likes to push so they can control your vote. Let's face it, if they take away your choice, they own you. Democrat policies have destroyed the black community. America, say her name. Everything okay?
No, I own this business and I had to shut it down. These rioters are out of control. I had to board everything up. This is all Trump's fault.
Are you freaking kidding me? Conservatives are the only ones standing up to the hate violence. Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi kneel to the mob. Leftists want to keep America shut down and defund the police. We're all sick of it. We need to restore law and order and reopen America now. Are you ready to walk away from the left?
How dare you? People on the right are misogynistic. They hate women.
Right, because they want to control your bodies and all that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but did you know that progressive politicians want to legalize abortion up until the point of birth?
Wait, I can't do this. That's just gross.
It is gross. They push the victim mentality and oppression narrative to keep you angry. But did you know that female wages rose to an all-time high under conservative leadership? Same for graduation rates and business ownership. There's literally never been a better time to be a woman in America. Liberals used to be the ones for free speech. Now, they want to silence anybody who has an opinion that's different than they do. They ban, bully, and blacklist anybody who does not conform to their rigid ideology. Cancel culture has become a cancer culture, which has infected the progressive movement.
Everything you say hurts my feelings because I disagree. You shouldn't have the right to hurt my feelings.
It can be hard to admit that we've been wrong, or that politicians or the media have manipulated us or lied to us. Without the ability to speak our minds and disagree, we're left with only one point of view to work with, and that's often lies and propaganda.
I hate America.
When all the free-thinking, freedom-loving people have left the left, all that will remain is a sad, pathetic, violent, hate America club for losers.
I'm gonna dox you when I get back to my mother's basement.
Actually, I talked to your mother today, and she's walking away from the left. She's also kicking you out of her basement today, too, so you might want to get a job, jackass. The time has come to break free from identity politics. I walked away because I love America. I love freedom. I care about Black lives. I care about all lives. I care about our nation's future. I'm sick of political correctness, identity politics, victim mentality, rage mobs, cancel culture. And I'm not the only one. Millions are walking away. Now is our time. Join us.
Sorry, I muted my microphone. Okay, so let me explain what makes that video so powerful. Okay, Brandon is a gay man. He voted for Hillary Clinton back in 2016. He did not vote for Trump last time. He was against Trump. Okay, and so it was watching Trump be president and realizing that he had been fed a lot of lies. That is what led Brandon Straka to become a Trump supporter, and you see what he's done. I mean, he created an incredible movement. It's called the Walkaway Movement. It's literally led to, we may never know the total number, but there are literally thousands of people that have walked away from the Democratic Party because of his activism. And his fearlessness is showing, like he said at the end of that video, identity politics is literally destroying America. And so even before the CCP virus got here, there were people that were able to see, man, this is not the Democratic Party that I joined. It's morphing into something else. When the squad was sworn in January of 2019, immediately, almost right away, you saw that huge leftward lurch of the Democratic Party. They start talking about this wonderful new Green New Deal. And they introduced the Green New Deal. We got to look at it. So, what the hell? Cow farts, banning cars. Are you kidding me? But they were serious. You asked them. You asked Bernie Sanders, and you asked AOC and all these other Congress members. They're completely serious about the Green New Deal. So all the cracks were showing. I mean, these people had become so radical. The ordinary Americans who had voted Democrat all their lives were already leaving. And then the virus got here, and we had the lockdowns beginning in March, I believe, is when most of the lockdowns started happening. So let me go to another video from Brandon Straka. I hope I'm not boring you guys. Here's another video I want you to watch real quick.
I will no longer abide by the ideology of the Democrats. Never again.
Democratic Party is more of a cancer and more of a manipulative force than they are doing good.
As time went on, it just got to the point to where it was a no-brainer, and I had no choice but to leave.
It's a no-brainer for me.
You ever become a stand-up person, you would never vote for them again.
I started to realize that the Democratic Party was just lying to black folks.
I walked away from the Democratic Party, and I will never ever vote for the Democratic Party again.
It will take an act of God before I would even consider flipping the switch for that party ever again.
We have been completely deceived.
I may never ever return back to the Democratic Party.
Nowadays, people will argue that the Democratic Party hates America and hates everybody, and I would concur with that argument.
Their ideology is all kinds of wrong.
The Democratic Party wants to be a socialist party. They want to turn us into socialism, communism, one world, new world, and y'all want to sit there and keep voting them in. Stop it.
Really, guys? Socialistic, left-wing, SJW thinking.
Socialism.
Socialist utopia.
Communism.
No.
Dumb stuff. You need to kick rocks with that philosophy right there.
No more.
You have to do your damn research.
Wake up.
You need to start opening your eyes like I did.
Realize that we have been manipulated.
Do your research.
Use common sense.
Investigating for myself.
It's time for us to wake up, man.
Look at what they're voting for.
Use facts instead of what they see on TV and CNN.
Things changed for me.
I challenge anybody who's watching this who disagree with me, come up with facts, not emotions. Come up with facts. Emotions don't get you nowhere.
I'm finding out that the Republican Party is more along the lines of what most of the people that I know, most of the people that I grew up around, they have the ideology of.
The values of the Republican Party rang true to my values and my moral code and what I stand for. And I think that it would be the same for you, I'm sure.
My side ain't spitting hatred every single day.
And I don't want to hear that hogwash about how this is the best person because he's black or she's a woman. That is simple-minded.
I still get shit for voting for President Trump, our savior of America.
My side loves that flag.
I want to be a part of Make America Great Again.
Say what you want. You know, that's why I got my MAGA hat on.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I am forever a Trump supporter.
I love my president.
Thank the Lord that he is our president.
I'm living the American dream.
When he won, I was as happy, and I'm just as happy now, and I will be voting for him again in 2020, and I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care.
2020, here we go, two-term Trump.
I love being a Republican, and I love being a Tea Party.
Make America great again.
God bless America.
This is the greatest country on the planet, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and I'm saying that as an African-American male.
God bless America. God bless our president.
My side loves the Constitution.
I am liberated in my conservatism.
This is refreshing.
And I'm so excited. I'm proud to be an American.
I'm a conservative person, and I'm a free thinker.
Thank God I became a free thinker.
I don't know if anybody watches The Matrix, but your girl, I took the red pill and I unplugged myself.
God bless the Walk Away movement.
Thank you guys for joining this movement. You guys clearly have common sense.
Reclaim your dignity, your life.
America is a beautiful country.
If you love this nation and you love the Pledge of Allegiance, you already know the Democrats is not where you want to go.
I'm always telling my friends, you really don't know how blessed you are to live in America till you get outside the continental United States.
This information needs to get out.
God bless America.
The left-leaning media lies about everything.
And this is why I walked away.
Walk away.
Hashtag walk away. Walk, walk, walk,
Walk, walk,
walk,
Walk away.
I ran my ass away quick.
Black is the new red.
Share this video, like this video.
You know, for a long time I have felt like I was by myself, like I was the only black person that was a conservative Republican in the hood.
I'm walking away. We're out of here.
Walk away.
Yeah, so that was a very moving video there, okay? And remember, you didn't see anything like that back in 2015, 2016, when Trump was running the first time. You did not see video testimonials like that. Look at the joy on those people's faces. Look at the happiness. I mean, they've been liberated. They came to see what they were a part of when they were in the Democratic Party, and they walked away, and you can just see the joy in their eyes, and you can hear the joy in their voices as they talk about how they've been liberated, they've broken away from a party that they now realize it has actually become anti-American. It's actually become against everything that this country stands for. And I want you to notice again, most of those people were black, because they are. And they were saying 2 years ago that if Trump managed to double the black vote that he got in 2016, if he managed to go from 8% to 16%, that he was going to win hands down. Because, because if he doesn't lose any support, and of course the DNC media has been trying to sell this narrative for months, so this constant drumbeat of fake news stories that Trump's base is walking away from him. He's the one that people are walking away from. Trump's base has had it with him. He called our soldiers suckers and losers. He had a secret Chinese bank account. He had people in his own administration plotting to remove him, And they try to give you all these reasons to walk away from Trump. And come on, man. Nobody has walked away from Trump. Okay? He's brought in a massive number of people since the last election. I just played you a video. I guarantee you, almost none of those people in that video you were just watching voted for Trump in 2016. None of those black people. Brandon Straka didn't. I didn't. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are now staunch Trump supporters that did not vote for him last time. And you see, and you don't have to look very hard to find videos like that. I found all 3 of those videos that I played for you so far on this live stream. I found them in just a couple minutes. And there are people out there that are not being silent, they're being very vocal. Okay, now you can't find any from the opposite of that. You can't find anybody making videos where they say, I voted for Trump last time, and God damn, I'm so disappointed in that guy. I can't wait to get out there and vote for Joe Biden, okay? Where are those videos? How do any of them even exist? Could you find one if you went looking for it? And if you do find one, is it real? Is that just some Democratic operative playing games with people? So, let me go back to this. Let me this here. Okay, this is the thought I did earlier today, where I was composing my thoughts for this live stream. I see people out there who do nothing all day but spin scenarios where they seem to think, okay, let me get back to the camera for this. I want you to see my face for this. Okay, they seem to think the closer the election gets, the more scared and pissed off and fearful we need to be. The closer the election gets, the more they're ramping up their fear point. Oh my God, they're going to steal it. Oh my God, the fraud's through the roof. Oh my God, it's like the closer the election gets, the more freaked out we all need to be. Okay, and I want you to understand, I freaking hate people that do that. I hate them. This is not a time to be freaking out. This is the time to be like the people in that damn video I just played for you. This is the time to be joyful. This is the time to be full of love and hope and action. Okay? And that's really the crux of this. There are people out there that will never change. They believe the way you motivate people is you got to put the fear of God in them. You've got to make them afraid. You've got to get them to panic. That's the only way they'll ever do anything. And so I see a lot of this spur point going on out there right now. And I contrast that with what I see in the walkaway movement. Do those people look scared? Do they look like they're freaking out? Okay, so I did this thread this morning. Why did the fear porn peddlers who ascribe magical powers to Democratic vote fraud never talk to you about walkaway or the amazing things that people like Brandon Straka or Scott Presler have been doing for the past 2 years? I'll tell you why. Because it undercuts their fear narrative. The fear porn peddlers need you to believe the Democratic base is just as big and just as brainwashed as it has ever been. Heading into this 2020 election, and I want you to understand something. When people make that claim to you, when they tell you the people in those blue states that are locked down, they've been locked down for the last 11 months, they're just as brainwashed as they've ever been. They're just as bound and determined to vote for Democrats as they've ever been. That is a lie. That is not true. They are not. Many of them are not brainwashed anymore. If they were brainwashed, you wouldn't be seeing the kind of things you're seeing going on in New York City right now. People in the blue states have spent almost a year now, living under people who have revealed themselves to be the worst kind of petty tyrants. They keep their citizens locked in their homes. They keep their businesses shut down. They keep their churches closed. They can't go to the parks. I mean, we all remember the videos, cops going out there and actually arresting a guy jogging by himself on the beach, or arresting a guy kayaking alone in the ocean, arresting some mother pushing her child on a swing in the park. Okay, these people are Trump's best advertisements for voting for him, because of what they've done to their own blue states and cities over the last 11 months, okay? And so when people tell you, well, all those folks that have been locked down in places like New York City, if they're in California, and in Illinois and Seattle, well, you know, they've watched these petty tyrants that run this city cost them thousands and thousands of dollars, and maybe even cause their business to go under, and cause them to have to go on welfare, and keep their kids out of school, and keep their churches closed, and they just can't wait to go vote for these people again. Okay, I'm telling you, when they sell this narrative to you, they don't know what they're talking about. They're constantly avoiding what you can see with your eyes. That's one reason why I said the show was going to be called Revolt in the Blue States. You can believe your lying eyes. There's things going on out there, and I'm going to give you some examples of it. Here's one.
There's no big group. Okay, come on.
Idem şartının da olsun. Tüm sıra aynı. İdem de olsun. Kimi kalan? Sizden kızan.
There's no.
Okay, I'll tell you why that's happening. The Jewish communities in New York City have had enough of Bill de Blasio and Andrew Cuomo's bullshit on COVID. Okay, they've had enough, so they're openly defiant. And of course, and so what's de Blasio doing? You know, in case you don't know who Bill de Blasio is, he's this prick right there on the top left. He's that real handsome guy. I wonder who he's looking at there. I can imagine him looking at the New York City Jewish community when that picture was taken. Okay, and when they defy him, okay, he of course completely overreacts. Okay, we know at this point that these lockdowns are politically motivated. It's all politics. Okay, we know what the real science says. This virus, unless you're over 60 years old or you have medical conditions, your chance of surviving this virus is over 99%. Okay, and so all this stuff they're doing, keeping their states locked down, blaming Trump for it. They're letting rioters run rampant in the streets. They're you know, it's all political, and people see right through it. People have saw through it long ago. So the Jewish community in that city said, "Okay, we've had enough," and they started not listening to any of these stupid rules that de Blasio and Cuomo are passing. Now, you may wonder, gee, how do the police know how many people are in that synagogue? How do they know to go in there and crack down? Well, I'll show you. They know how many people are in that synagogue because the city is actually sending people to film from the windows outside with cameras so they can see how many people are in there. If they find too many people in a gathering, this is what they'll do. They'll send somebody in there to break it up.
You have a noise complaint.
You stop after breathing in my face. I'm the one wearing a mask.
You're not
allowed.
You have a glove. You
have
a face mask. What do you get?
I'm talking to the owner here. But we had a complaint about vehicle parking in the front. Then I look up and you have over 10 people in a crowd.
So what?
Now it's an issue, okay?
What is the issue? Exactly.
The issue is...
This is not a party, there's no music, this is simply a simple thing. They have a few friends together. What is the issue that you need supposed to come into my house and tell me that it's okay for a police officer to walk into my house and say it's okay? When you are the police officer, you know the laws, you know the rules, you can't walk into my house and tell me that it's okay. You would have been a normal person who would have walked out and said, okay, can I talk to you? Fine, I can listen to you. Instead, you're just backing that up again and again.
We're past that. We're past that point. Yeah, he tried to slam it on me. I'm trying to talk to you as a person. No, the door was
open. You were standing here when I came out. I didn't see anything.
I told you, can I come into the house?
You guys came in.
As he was walking out, he saw us, ran back inside and tried to...
Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, wow, that could never happen in America. You were watching it happen in these blue states, okay? And you've got people on conservative media saying, yeah, boy, all these people out there that are being oppressed like this, man, they just can't wait to line up and go vote for Cuomo and de Blasio again. Yeah, what other bullshit? Bullshit! Bullshit, they can't wait to go vote for these Democrats again. Okay? And they're living under real oppression. I mean, if you have a family in these blue states, and you're not okay. Yeah, sure. There's always going to be some tiny percentage of people, like they showed in that walkaway video, marching with a sign, communism. We're for communism. Okay, how many people in America really want that? And up to the point they go out there and try to have a revolution to bring communism to America. Are we talking like what? 1%, 2%, 3%? Okay, look. They are a tiny minority. Okay, most of the people, you're gonna have to accept this. Most of the people living in blue states just weren't paying attention. They didn't. They were brainwashed. Okay, they were telling themselves things that weren't true, and they've learned a bitter lesson over the last year. They had their eyes opened. And you have people running out there, oh, no, their eyes aren't open. They haven't learned anything. But what these tyrants, and what these people have done to them in the last year, they learned nothing. They can't wait to go vote for these people again, okay? And all I'm doing is saying, why are you listening to these people? What's the point? Because if I had a family, I lived in a place like Seattle, and I watched the mayor there let what was actually a organized criminal gang take over several, 6 city blocks of Seattle and hold it for weeks. And I had a business in that city, and it got looted. And I'm told that I can't go to church, and I can't send my kids to school. And people from the red states and the red media are thinking I'm going to be sitting there, nodding my head and saying, yes, sir, give me more. Whatever you tell me is fine. I'll do whatever you tell me. Okay, I'm telling you, there are millions of people that live in these blue states that are pissed off. They've been forced to live under what is actual tyranny. And yeah, sure, when they weren't paying attention and they weren't thinking very clearly, yeah, they voted Democrat. They were voting for the Democrats, okay? But I'm telling you, life experience is a wonderful thing because pain is a wonderful teacher. Pain will wake you up, okay? And a lot of these families, these people that live in blue states have been having unending, unrelenting pain for the last year. Okay, and they recognized who was causing them a lot of this pain. And I'll tell you something. when these people lock down the blue states, when they hear about how good people have it in the red states, because that's they can't hide that. They can't hide the fact that these red states opened up and the red states are doing fine, and the economy's fine, the jobs, the restaurants and all the businesses are open again, and commerce is happening and the economy is recovering. And meanwhile, they're trapped in a state being run by creeps like these people, and they can't do anything. They're not being allowed to do anything, and they can't. Like right now, what state is it? The guy said you can't have more than 6 people over for Thanksgiving. He's trying to dictate how many people you can have in your house for your Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, it's absurd that Americans will put up with this, and I'm telling you, there are Americans in these blue states. They woke up in the last year. Pain woke them up watching lunatics dictate to them that they no longer have any rights, that the CCP riots took away all their rights and liberties. Sad, but there's nothing you can do about it. I'm in charge, and you keep that business shut down. You keep that kid out of school, okay? You keep that church closed, okay? And I'm telling you, there's gonna be a massive backlash to this. So I don't believe at all that the majority of the people that live under these petty tyrants right now are just sitting at home like sheep, saying, "Yeah, okay, I can't wait to get out there and vote for these people again." I can't wait to get 4 more years of this and vote these people back into office. And I'm telling you, that's not happening. Okay, now here's a New York Post story where this is what happens when they've spent months keeping their cities and their states locked down for political reasons, transparent political reasons, and people start to rebel, and they start cracking down on them by identity politics. Okay, I guarantee you there are plenty of people who aren't Jews in New York City that have had more than enough of de Blasio's bullshit. Okay, but why is he picking on the Jews? Why does he go after the Jews? Well, I'll tell you why. Because de Blasio and all these leftists, they think according to identity politics. They view people as groups, not individuals. And because it just so happens that in the Jewish community, the Orthodox Jewish community is the most highly identifiable group in that city that's defying him, that's the one he's going to most publicly crack down on. So that's why that is happening. That's why he's singling out the Jewish people. Because they are a group that's easily identifiable, and I guarantee you there are a lot of people in New York City that have had more than enough of this creep. I have a friend, Tracy Beans is a good friend of mine. She posted something last night. Okay, the New York Mets are for sale. Did you know that? And Steve Cohen, one of the big Wall Street investors, is inquiring for the second time about purchasing the New York Nets, and because he's a capitalist, I guess. Steve Cohen is a successful capitalist. Bill the Bolshevik, Bill the Communist, whatever nickname to give this guy, has decided to stick his nose in to this proposed sale of the New York Mets, and he's de Blasio contacted the commissioner of baseball and told them that he's going to step in there. He's going to try to keep this stuff from happening if they try to sell the New York Mets to Steve Cohen. Okay, because that's just the kind of guy he is. Everything about him is about leftist politics, identity politics. We can't have an evil capitalist buying the Mets. Like, who does he think owns it before Steve Cohen? I mean, where did they get the millions of dollars they purchased the team with? It's absurd, but this is the kind of person Bill de Blasio is. Cracking down on the Jews because they are an identifiable group, and he is deliberately making an example out of them to cow the other group, to cow everybody else in the city. That's why he's doing this. So I want to end with this, and then I'm going to take your questions, okay? People want to believe that The huge red wave that's coming, the Trumpslide, is mostly just conservatives, people that are staunch conservatives. Well, I'm telling you, a lot of the power of this red wave is coming from people who aren't really conservatives yet, but they're no longer Democrats. People like my good friend Dr. Colin Borisenko, okay? She will tell you flat out right now, she's not a conservative, but she's voting for Trump, and she's become a staunch Trump supporter. The left has literally driven her away. So this is what's coming when millions of former Democratic voters pay back the petty tyrants who've been making their lives a living hell in these blue states this past year by voting for Trump. That is going to make the coming red wave even bigger than you can imagine. I'm telling you, okay, that there is a revolt in the blue states for every one person that got up and made a video about how they can't wait to go vote for Trump. There are 100 that didn't do that. There are 1,000 that didn't do that. They're being quiet about it. And when Trump talks about the silent majority, he ain't kidding, okay? You're gonna see this on the night of November 3rd, that the Democrats used to have a base of a certain size, and they have literally spent 2 years trying to do everything they can to take all the normal people, all the people that aren't crazy, socialist-loving, communist-loving, red flag-waving Antifa types. They've done everything they can to drive those people out of their party. And it's worked. It's worked. It worked. They drove them out. And they drove them right into Trump's arms. And Trump's like, yes, yes, come to me. Oh, you who were tired. Okay. This is Trump saying, yes, yes, come to me. All of you who were tired of these people and the burdens that they lay on you, come to me and I will give you rest. That's Trump. And I'm telling you, he is an amazing salesman. He's making that sell. That's why he's going to places like Minnesota. That's why he's going to places like, where they say he'll have no chance of winning Michigan. He has no chance of winning Minnesota. And he goes there and campaigns anyway, okay? He knows what he's doing, his own internal polling. See, he doesn't trust media polls. Trump pays his own money for campaign polling. Those are the polls that he looks at. I'm telling you, those polls tell him he's already got this election in the bag. So that's what's coming. We're 5 days away from the Trumpslide, the massive Trumpslide that's coming. And so there is a revolt in the blue states. And only some of it has been visible, but there are millions of people that are living there, that are trapped there, they weren't able to get out, and they cannot wait to pay back the petty tyrants that have been making their lives a living hell for the last year. And Trump knows how to reach these people, and those are the people that these rallies are for. And you see the numbers of all the people that came to these rallies that didn't vote last time, or they've never voted Republican before. Okay, the numbers are astounding. And so we have a lot to look forward to over the next 5 days. And now I'm going to take your questions in the chat. Let me see if anybody has asked a question yet. Okay, from UK Patriot, you're correct, Brian. The backlash is happening and people are becoming restless. They see it doesn't make logical sense. Yes, there's no logical sense to what they're doing. I mean, you try to pin down the logic behind what the Blaze Arrow is doing to the Jewish community, and it's obvious. I mean, the logic, in one technical sense, it makes sense. Okay, if de Blasio is trying to assert control over an increasingly unruly population in his city that have had enough of all the crap he's been pulling with this lockdown, okay, and he wants to he wants a visible group that he can make an example of, okay, that group is going to be the Jewish community, because that's the one that is not only it's more organized than a lot of other groups, their resistance will be more effective. And so he's literally making a public example out of them. He's been doing this for months, when he was sending city workers out to weld shut the gates of Jewish parks and Jewish cemeteries so nobody can go in there. He's been doing this for a while. He's just been stepping it up in the last 2 weeks or so. And now they're actually sending guys outside with cameras, you know, to look in the windows and try to count the number of people they see in these synagogues, and then they knock on the doors. And they're even doing it now in private homes, as they showed you in that one of those videos. There's cops going right into somebody's house and saying, you know, you got too many people in here. And it's insane. It makes no sense. But, you know, the thing is, the only reason these governors are doing this, you know, the only reason they're doing this is because they think they thought they were going to reap a political benefit from these lockdowns. They thought they were going to reap a political benefit. They do these lockdowns and they blame Trump for the lockdowns, and then this would help them get rid of Trump. There was just a couple of days from the election. I'm telling you, it has massively backfired on them. Okay, question from Janet Hurley. Do people know about the Biden-China scandal, especially with the censorship? Yes. They know all about it. Who has the most watched TV show on I want to say cable news, but it's not just cable news. I mean, it has one of all the networks, the most watched show of, they had historic ratings as Tucker Carlson. And of all the shows that Tucker Carlson has done that have the highest ratings, which one had the highest ratings of all? Well, the one where he had Tony Bobulinski on there 2 nights ago. The ratings were off the charts. I'm telling you. And as I said in some recent threads, when they try to suppress information, all they end up doing is calling attention to it. That's all they end up doing. It's called the Streisand effect. When they locked the New York Post out of its Twitter account, what did that do? When the Twitter staff started locking people out of their accounts and making it so you couldn't share the New York Post story, what did that do? Well, it caused a massive amount of attention to be focused on. That's called the Streisand effect. You try to suppress something and it blows up on you. All it does is cause everybody to look at what you're trying to keep them from seeing. And so more people know about that laptop and the evidence that's on it. Twitter stopped suppressing the New York Times links. They may now have unlocked the New York Post. I see people sharing the links from the New York Post now, and they have not allowed the New York Post back into its account. But look, trying to censor this massively backfired on them. So, yeah, of course, they tried to suppress it, and more people than ever know about it now. So, great job, Twitter. Nice going. Brian, do you think the winner of the election will be called on tonight? Or do you think Big Tech will try to censor? Okay, look, Big Tech can't censor anything real. Not really, okay? How would they censor Big Tech? If people don't really follow the internet that much, they follow the news networks. How do the news networks hide who won the election on election night? Okay, one thing you need to know about the vote by mail versus the vote in person is the voting in person that's going on right now. It will continue to go on right through election day itself. It's going to blow away any of the vote by mail totals. So many people are going to vote in person that the vote by mail, it is literally not going to matter. I agree with Victor. They're going to call it on election night. They're going to look at how many votes came in by mail and how many votes came in person. And when they're tallying up the number of votes in person for each of the states versus the vote by mail, one is going to be so much bigger than the other. They're going to have to admit it doesn't matter if there are a couple, dozen, thousand, or even vote by mail ballots that still haven't been counted yet. It's clear who won based on the voting in person. So they'll call it on election night. I'm absolutely convinced of that. So, people give this power to big tech. Like I did a thread on this the other day. Big tech has this amazing power to determine the outcomes and to hide information from people. And they actually had Dr. Epstein writing columns back in, I believe it was February of this year, saying that Trump and the GOP have no path to victory in this election because They have no path because Facebook and Twitter aren't going to let Trump advertise, and they're gonna pimp for Biden, and so information will be hidden from people, and so this is going to throw the election to Biden. And I was calling bullshit on that back in February. What do you think of Zuckerberg saying the FBI informed him that a drop of documents we put online that he was told to censor it? Okay. That's Rich Higgins and some other people out there pimping that right now. Okay, here's my take on that. There is no evidence that the FBI held a secret, undisclosed briefing with Facebook. I believe they're talking about Ray and that other guy holding the public press conference that we all saw. It's the same press conference we all saw where they talked about election interference. Okay, and so the way Rich Higgins phrased this was the FBI told Facebook not to print any negative stuff about Biden. And I questioned that because the FBI cannot tell a private company what they can and can't do. That they're law enforcement. They go in there to enforce the law. The FBI is not in the censorship business. And so that's one of the first things that makes me question that narrative that everybody's running with on social media right now. Because Zuckerberg is saying the FBI informed him there would be attempts to interfere in the election. And I believe what people are taking Zuckerberg's words and they're twisting them. They're saying Zuckerberg was told by the FBI, yes, foreign nations are going to try to do things and they're going to drop things and they're trying to influence the election. But then people are saying, they add to that, and they say Zuckerberg is claiming the FBI told him, they instructed him. Okay, that's the word they use. The FBI instructed Zuckerberg, do not print any of this derogatory stuff. Okay, and I believe that when I see it. I don't think Zuckerberg said that the FBI gave him censorship instructions, because that's not what the FBI does. Again, it comes down to people not knowing how anything works. The FBI doesn't go around telling Twitter or Facebook, unless you can publish this, you can't publish that. You can publish this, you can't publish that. No. If Zuckerberg said anything like that, it's him trying to pass his staff censorship off and saying, well, the FBI told me to. The FBI told me not to publish this, And no. The FBI told you that there was foreign attempts to influence the election. It would come from the Russians, it would come from the Chinese, it would come from the Iranians, okay? But they didn't tell you not to publish specific stuff. They just warned you it was coming, okay? That is what the FBI does. And some people took that and they morphed it into Zuckerberg claiming the FBI told me not to publish anything bad about Biden before the election. I don't buy that bullshit. Yeah, Larry Schweikart, very good follower. He's doing that election special with Tracy Beans and Richard Barrett, the People's Pundit, on election. I would encourage you all to watch that. Uncovering DC is involved in that. That's going to be a very good election special. And Larry's been laying that out, how the vote by mail is not going to matter if they're seeing fantastic in-person voting numbers that blow everything away from 2016. I think the voting totals in Texas have already, just the only voting totals in person in Texas have blown away of the numbers from 2016. We've already surpassed them. And from Gary Haas, what do you think about the GDP numbers? Oh, fantastic. We've never had a quarter where the economy grew 33% in one quarter. And I believe the Washington Post already went out there and tried to piss in the Cheerios to try to say, yes, this is the most dramatic recovery. We've recovered 2/3 of what was lost in the first 6 months of this year. But there's still a long way yet to go. They're trying to pee in the Cheerios, and they're trying to make it sound like, well, it's not really that big of a deal. We've only recovered 2/3 so far of what was lost due to the economic crisis caused by the pandemic. So don't get your hopes up, folks. It's only 2/3 recovered so far. But these are fantastic numbers. Trump's doing exactly what he said he would do. He said, we will bring the economy all the way back. And he will. And think about this. This is happening while these ideological lunatics are keeping multiple states, about 10 states, completely locked down. The economy is recovering anyway. And I'm telling you, when people in the blue states living under these lockdowns, they see the economy thriving, they see the red states thriving, and they know that could be happening for them right now if only they weren't living under somebody like de Blasio or Durkin or Lightfoot in Chicago. So, fantastic numbers. Oh, the UPS magically found the perfect documents that were sent to Tucker. Oh, what great. And the people were trying to say those were the only copies. I don't remember Tucker or anybody else saying that those were the only copies of these documents. They're trying to, some people were out there trying to write about it as if, or sell the story that, Tucker and the Fox people were stupid enough to put the only existing copy of these crucial documents in this folder, and they lost it. They got stolen or whatever. Well, I don't remember Tucker or anybody saying that was the only copy, but it's nice to see that they found it. Okay, Kevin X. Now, it seems to me the difference between Obama recovery and Trump recovery is Obama was totally top-down, money-headed to selected friends. Trump's recovery is gone. Yeah, the whole stimulus Obama did was a con job. Remember we talked about shovel-ready jobs that didn't exist? And really the massive stimulus bill that Obama passed in his first year, all that money went straight to Democratic constituency groups and activist groups. That was a payoff to the Democratic base. That's all that was. Red states, conservative groups didn't get any of that money. It was all for Obama's friends. So yeah, Trump's recovery is 100% different. UK Patriot. Is it true that Kavanaugh votes with the liberal justices to allow the counting of votes 9 days after the election? Okay, that's true, but let me tell you why it doesn't matter. That's Pennsylvania. Trump won Pennsylvania last time, okay? What the Supreme Court said there is, okay, legally, the law in Pennsylvania said that you could count votes after the election. See, what's being stopped, what the Supreme Court stopped in places like Wisconsin and elsewhere, and Nevada, is where they're trying to change the rules now, leading up to the election. They're suddenly trying to change the laws about the election. So they're trying to say that, well, the law didn't say you could count votes after election day, but they're trying to change it so they can. And yeah, okay, that the Supreme Court is stopping. But in Pennsylvania and some of these other states, that was the law. The law said that the election day wasn't really the cutoff date, that they could count votes. Okay, and I want you to understand something. Under the law that they could count these votes after election day, Trump won Pennsylvania last time. Okay, he did. And so I don't see it mattering all that much with the huge red wave that's coming. And so what the Supreme Court did is they said, well, we're not going to order Pennsylvania to change its law. North Carolina, too. It's in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Okay. Oh, the thing in North Carolina was, I believe, was the witness signatures. They said the witness signatures don't have to match. Well, I don't think that's really going to matter all that much, because Trump is going to win a lot of these states handily. And so what the Supreme Court is toning back is attempts to change the law just before the election. They tried that in Nevada. They got slapped down. They tried that in Wisconsin. The Supreme Court slapped them down. Okay, but in Pennsylvania, they actually have a law on the books, and the Supreme Court was being asked to change that, and the Supreme Court saying that's not our job. The legislature in Pennsylvania passed this law. They said it's legal to count these votes up to 9 days after the election, and we're not going to overturn that and overrule it. So that's what Kavanaugh said there, and. So I don't think a lot of this election gamesmanship that you're watching, where they're trying to, like in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, a lot of this is not gonna matter, because, like I said, the gaps are too high. Trump grew his base to such a massive extent, and the Democratic base shrank to such an extent that you're going to see a lot of these gaps. See, they can steal it if it's close. If they only need to come up with like 1 or 2 points, 5 or 6,000, 7,000 votes. Okay. When you got to come up with 125,000 votes out of thin air, you ain't gonna, like I'm telling you, they don't have the infrastructure to pull that off. The gap is too big, and you're going to see that on election night. Dave Alexander, do you think Biden will concede on election night? Okay, well, all right. Depends on how much he listens to Hillary Clinton. As remember, Hillary told him, under no circumstances should you concede. And we know about the huge number of lawyers that they've got ready to litigate an election. Well, I got to tell you something. You can litigate a close election. See, the best case scenario for the Democrats and their legion of lawyers waiting to descend to try to flip this election is hoping for a 2000 election scenario where it's close enough that they have just a state like Florida or a state similar to Florida where it's close enough where they can get in there and try to litigate their way into flipping the Electoral College votes to Biden. But I'm telling you, Trump is going to win. Okay, he got 306 electoral votes last time. Trump is gonna far surpass what he got last time. I don't see him losing a single state he won last time, and he's gonna win a bunch of states that people are convinced he's gonna lose. Nevada, they say he's campaigning right now in Florida. I'm watching him on the TV. Okay, they say he's going to lose Florida, he's going to lose Pennsylvania. I don't see it. I see him taking some states where they think he had no chance. Michigan or Minnesota, Nevada, some of these states, he's going to flip them. Okay, and so Biden is, if the gap is so big, Biden just may give up the ghost on election night. If Trump wins something like 340 or 370 electoral votes, and Biden only wins a handful of states, you might see him concede. Flint City Council member Melissa Davis, Democrat, endorses President Trump. Yeah, we'll see a lot of this. There are people that are realizing they want to go with the winner. They see how things are shaping up. You see what happened to the polls in the last week, even a lot of the fake polls. The pollsters realize they can't, if they get caught being disastrously wrong like they were in 2016, like Frank Luntz said, the polling industry is going to die. I mean, it would not survive getting this election so massively wrong a second time in a row. So we see Trump going into blue states. He's campaigning in places like Michigan and Nevada, and people are going, "Oh, he's got no chance to win those states. What's he doing? There's no chance of him winning these states. This doesn't make any sense." They're going to be surprised, because remember, a lot of these true blue, bleeding blue Democrats, okay, they live in denial. They still believe they have influence. They still believe the fake news is deceiving enough people. They still believe their fake polls are deceiving people. And that's not really what's going to happen. They're not going to be able to fool enough people this time. Trump showed them last time that he can be a well-funded candidate that had all the advantages. Okay, look at the advantages that Hillary had. She spent over $1 billion. She spent way more than the Trump campaign did. She had the backing of most of the members of Congress. Most of the GOP didn't back Trump. A lot of the GOP didn't even back Trump. They were very open about the fact, well, if the choice is this clown or Hillary Clinton, we're voting for Hillary Clinton. Okay, that happened. And then you had all of academia. Every living former president endorsed Hillary. Okay, you had academia, Hollywood. You had all You know, all the cultural stratum backing Hillary. Okay, and Trump beat her anyway. Okay, now they told themselves, hey, the media people, we made a mistake giving Trump all that free airtime. That was a mistake. They gave him something like, it was well over $1 billion free advertising. Now, see, because they were telling themselves, you know, this is the bubble these people live in. They will watch the Trump rallies and laugh. Oh, look at him talking to these idiots. Look at what he's saying. They're mocking him. They're laughing at him. So they had no problem showing Trump at the rise. Oh, look at this crazy, stupid thing that clown said now. You know, and so they didn't. They thought that showing the rallies would actually drive people away from Trump, and that's not what happened. And so this time they said, this time we won't cover his rallies. So right now he's live in Tampa, Florida. I'm watching Fox. Fox is covering it. Moving now to MSNBC. MSNBC is in Paris, and moving to CNN. Let's see what's on CNN right now. Are they covering the Trump rally in Florida? Let's see what CNN's talking about. The lead with Jake Tapper, and they are talking about the coronavirus pandemic with some fur porn peddler named Dr. Paul Offit. So that's what's going on right now. So Fox was the only one carrying the Trump rally. So they're convinced that they're not giving Trump coverage this time. We'll tank his numbers. And I'm telling you, it's not going to work. Trump's base has not shrunk, it's grown. And he's going to win states. He's going to win way more states than he did last time. He pulled in 306 electoral college votes last time, and he's going to top 340 this time. And he may win 45 plus states. We'll see. But I know Trump is very confident. His internal polling is showing him that it is competitive in these states. They're talking about him pulling out of Florida, pulling funding out of Florida. That's because he knows he's going to win those states. He's sending them to states where it's competitive right now. Yeah, Hillary spent $1.2 billion, and Trump spent about well under half that. And you know, one key thing about last time, when people don't know who the real Trump campaign manager was, they assumed that it was Posco. Okay, well, as I've liked to reveal to people many times now, Trump's actual campaign manager was not Brad Posco. Trump's actual campaign manager was Jared Kushner. Yeah, Jared Kushner. Trump's actual campaign headquarters was in San Antonio, Texas. And very few people had figured that out by the time Election Day 2016 rolled around. So they left Kellyanne Conway out there. You know, remember, after it was Corey Lewandowski. It was Paul Manafort, Corey Lewandowski, Paul Manafort, then Kellyanne Conway. And so they let the media focus on those people over there. Meanwhile, Pascal, working with Kushner down there in San Antonio, were creating a campaign. That was the best way to say this. They were finding a way to digitally reach out to voters in the battleground state. They were developing a battleground state strategy. And they didn't have any media people running around them, harassing them, distracting them while they were down there in San Antonio at the actual Trump campaign headquarters in 2016. So nobody knew at that time. They're all talking to Kellyanne Conway in the lead up to the election. They don't really know Kushner was the real campaign manager, and they did not reveal this until Forbes magazine wrote a expose about it, which I put up on my Twitter several times, about how Jared was the real campaign manager behind the scenes. And so now here we are in 2020, and they built a massive ground game. They knock on 1 million doors a week, and Trump has his own internal polling, and he knows he's going to win. And so He's doing 3 rallies a day in multiple cities. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is that shot of him walking down the stairs to his own rally. You see there's maybe at the most 30, 40 people there. They're all in their little white circles marked down the ground. It's just one of the most pathetic sights ever. And so I said months ago, when we get into the home stretch, people will see this is going to be a presidential campaign like nothing they've ever seen, because one of the candidates is suffering from dementia. He had to be shielded. There's no enthusiasm for him. He has no building national support. It's all they have are smoke and mirrors and gaslighting to make it look like he's got a real campaign. And Trump, on the other hand, is a rock star, drawing these massive rallies, attending massive rallies 3 or 4 times a day. Sometimes he does up to 4 rallies a day and doing all these other events. Okay, the guy's the human dynamo. And we've never seen anything like this. Biden called a lid on almost half of September, 12 days in September. He called a lid early in the morning. And then he continued that, like the first 4 days ahead of the last presidential debate, called a lid, stayed in. And he started having more and more senior moments, like when he announced that he was running against George somebody on Sunday, and they spent all day trying to convince us he meant George Lopez. And then yesterday, as I said in that live stream from yesterday, they rolled out what they thought was going to be an October surprise, something to distract from the Bobulinski story at least. They rolled out who Anonymous was, and it turned out to be some prick nobody had ever heard of, some lower-level coffee fetcher. He didn't even have the coffee fetching job when he wrote the anonymous op-ed for the New York Times. And we've never seen an election like this, guys. This election's going to be historic, and we all get to be part of it. So I want to end this live stream by saying that's what makes Trump different from every other politician out there. He's building that red wave right there. He's building that red wave based on hope and love and optimism. And so that is why the fear porn peddlers piss me off so much, because it's like, this guy you could not pay his base money to not vote. They are chomping at the butt, man. We've been waiting for 4 years to vote for this guy. And I hear people out there saying, oh, no. Don't tell people we're winning. They'll stay home. I'm like, what the hell are you smoking? Nobody in the Trump base is staying home. Are you crazy? They can't wait to go vote for this guy. Okay? So be in good cheer. We're part of the winning team. We're energized, we're focused, and we're active. Nobody's being passive here. Nobody's encouraging any passivity. So get out there and seize the day. Seize the victory. That's what Trump is about. He's out there seizing the victory. He's already won, but he knows. He's going to, the longer he works, the longer he gets out there and does more lives, the bigger his victory gets. He wants the biggest victory ever. He wants to take a mandate into that second term. When he gets the House back, he goes his lead in the Senate, and he gets reelected with a massive landslide. That is a mandate. And what he's going to do with that mandate is going to be astounding. So thanks for coming out and watching. God bless you and God bless America, and I'll see you all tomorrow.